Hi Pisces, thanks for watching. This is a spiritual horoscope, so please take what resonates and release the rest. We'll start off with some runes and then we'll clarify with some cards. So let's jump in. What does Pisces need to know at this time? So for your current energy, you have algae, and this represents, the way I want to describe algae in this situation is making decisions with confidence. That I feel it's almost that you've got options and you're not quite sure which one to take, and you're still trying to weigh the pros and cons, and in the process also trying to appease everyone and make everyone happy. All right, let's clarify that one. What does Pisces need to know? There's actually two. So you've got Dagas, and Dagas represents a breakthrough. So in this case, it's almost that with trying to please everyone, that's never going to work. You can't please everyone. So this is where make decisions based on what you want to do and what will make your soul happy. And this is the breakthrough that will come through because you're doing things for your soul and not everyone else. And this is, so Wunyo represents happiness. So this is where once you make decisions for yourself, the happiness comes in. But right now you're trying to please everyone, and in the end you're not happy because you're trying to please everyone, and it's not working. That's the way I can explain it. It's not working. So making decisions for you, this is where the happiness comes in. And also don't worry about hurting someone's feelings because they'll eventually come around. There's always a nice way of saying things, but they'll come around eventually. And if you explain things on why you're doing things the way you are, and in some cases there doesn't even need to be an explanation really, but this is where you'll find that happiness again because you're living for you and not everybody else. And it's almost that it's part of your nature, is that someone needs something, and you'll drop everything to be there for that person, and that's such an amazing quality to have. But at the same time, you don't want to lose yourself and do things for that in the long run you're not going to be happy with. So you have Suelu, and Suelu represents integrity. So do things for the right reasons, and we talked about it. We talked about there's always a nice way of saying things, and this is where the integrity comes in, and you'll shine by the end of it, is what I want to say. What else can we clarify? And for the future, you've got Birkenau. So how I want to explain this one is it doesn't feel right that you're saying you might have to say no because it's not in your nature, because you'll drop everything for somebody. But this is where it's almost like a muscle. The more you do it, the easier it gets. And in that process, you're setting boundaries. You'll say, no, I can't do it now, but maybe later, maybe at this day and this time, and setting those boundaries, the happiness comes in because you're living for you and not everybody else and trying to make everyone else happy. Let's clarify this. What does Pisces need to know? What can we clarify for Pisces? So you have Gebo, and Gebo is all about relationships. So this is where you need to actually put a pause on the relationships, figure out what your soul wants to do, and then take it from there. But it's almost right now, you need to figure out what you want to do, set the boundaries, and then eventually if someone is upset, well, that's on them. At least you're doing things for your purpose. And you have two. So you've got Hagalas, and this represents like a disruption. So this feeling right now is temporary if you start living for yourself and not everyone else. And it's like I mentioned, it's not a bad quality that you're so willing to help and you're so kind. It's just you need to have boundaries with that giving. And you've got Ingus, and this is where we mentioned how that feeling of it, putting boundaries is not necessarily something that you're used to, but this is where the more you do it, the stronger you get. And that's how Ingus I want to explain in this situation. If you put in the work now and invest in yourself and making sure you're having boundaries, the happiness comes in. And it's not saying that you're not happy now. I'm just wanting to state, or the universe is trying to state, that do things for you instead of everyone else, and this is where there'll be even more happiness that comes in as a result of it. And you have Yira, and this is all about karma. So all of this, all this energy that you're putting into everyone else, invest it into yourself, and the universe will give back to you all those times that you've helped everyone else. The universe will bring it back in. Let's move on to some cards now. What can we clarify for Pisces? You've got power. So this is where you have the power to make choices for yourself. And everything will flow once you start doing that. The unexpected. So in this way, how I want to explain this one is that setting those boundaries is unexpected for those people in your life, because you haven't necessarily always done that, because you've always been there for everyone. So saying, hey, I can't do it now, I can do it at this day and this time. This is where it's that feeling of unexpected comes in, but for the people in your life versus for yourself. And you've got beauty. So in this case, how I want to say beauty is you'll see things differently once you start living more for yourself. And I think I've said this to you before, actually, that you're so willing to help and so kind, but the beauty comes in is in those little moments that you'll feel satisfied because you've set those boundaries, saying, hey, I can only do it this day and time. So you're not full out saying no, you're just saying, hey, I can't do it right now. But this is the beauty comes in, because you'll be so happy that, hey, because I didn't drop everything, I was able to accomplish X, Y, and Z. And this is where the beauty comes in, because you're feeling that balance. All right, whoa, okay. And you've got the masculine. The way I like to describe this card is more that, like, you've got the two stakes in the ground. So this is where you're not being a stick in the mud by saying, hey, I just can't get to it right now, I can get to it at this day and time. But this is where it feels unnatural to you, but the more you do it, the stronger you get. And this is where doing those little changes every day you'll reap the benefits in the long run, but it is a process, and that's where I'm guided to with the cycles of the moon here. So this is where if you keep chipping away at it every day and keep making the decisions for you, that's where you'll really shine in the end. All right, this is what I have for you at this time. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.